Hello everyone, it's the end of day 3. Rich and BDM here with you to put a bow on the final day of action here in Honolulu. BDM, we came in a set of 5 wedges, 5 clans. What was the shape of standard going to be? What was the shape of limited going to be? We ended up with a top 8 packed full of great storylines and in the end, a great champion.
Yeah, absolutely. Ari Lax has been playing this game since he was like 5 years old. And seemingly for the last 5 years of that has been like, going up against the golden ceiling. He's been able to get to gold at the Pro Players Club, has not been able to break through to platinum, has not been able to break through into the top 8 before, has had a number of close calls, 9th place finish, another top 16 finish. And this was a long time coming for him, and you knew it was going to come. He's one of the brightest and best players on the Pro Tour. You use the adjective studious to describe him, and he's really put together this team around him of people who are able to bolster him where he needs bolstering. And he talked about needing that in limited. Worked with Neil Reeves and Chris Fennell on Team TCG Player, and 6-0'd his draft. And what a great moment for Ari Lax. He's been a big part of the Magic community for a very long time.
Well, why don't we take a look at the bracket and how things that shaped up through our final Sunday here. So we began with Ari Lax, and he was up against the 2-time Player of the Year in Yuya Watanabe. Well, that was Abzan mid-range for Lax up against Jeskai Wins, blue, white, and red for Yuya Watanabe. And in the end, BDM, it was a pretty comfortable win for Lax.
Yeah, Ari just came out looking very, very comfortable in that matchup. And won 2 games very quickly against the 2-time Player of the Year, Yuya Watanabe.
Yeah,
playing in his 3rd Pro Tour top 8. Perhaps hearing some whispers that in a couple of years when he gets to be Hall of Fame eligible, well, maybe 2 Pro Tours top 8s is not enough. Starting to bolster the resume down these next couple of years before he's even eligible.
It was a similar matchup in our 2nd quarterfinal, which was Thiago Saporito, 21-year-old Brazilian, in his first Pro Tour top 8, up against someone even younger. This was the 19-year-old Andrej Strasky from the Czech Republic. So Abzan mid-range for Saporito, Jeskai Wins for Strasky. What happened?
This one went 3 games, but we saw the up-and-coming Brazilian player take down the up-and-coming player from the Czech Republic.
So that took us into the top half of our bracket. This was even flock against Mike Sigrist, with arguably the most intriguing matchup of the 4, because this featured a former Pro Tour champion, indeed the last Pro Tour champion, even flock of the Slovak Republic, playing blue-black control.
You say the most intriguing matchup, and then you sort of segue to make it sound like it's something else. It was the most interesting to you because you were just rooting for the control deck to win. That's all you cared about. That could have been a convicted murderer sitting there, and you would have been rooting for the control deck.
It was, in a very unbiased way, I think a very appealing matchup that would cover all the magical bases. It was against Mike Sigrist of the United States playing Abzan aggro. What happened?
Well, Mike Sigrist just ran over the control deck, ran over it, under it, through it, just left some Siege Rhino-shaped holes in the walls of that deck, and really dispatched Even Flock quite soundly.
And to be fair, Even Flock kind of knew it was coming. He said, when I won a Pro Tour, I kind of knew I was going to win a Pro Tour. I woke up this morning and knew I wasn't going to win a Pro Tour. And he was right. So the blue-black deck, a work in progress, get to it, control players. And that left...
Speaking of works in progress...
Right, that left Li Shi-chan with the Jeskai Ascendancy combo, which, because this show is not 40 minutes in length, we will not be able to explain to you fully at this point. But he was up against Sean McLaren with a Jeskai deck. Jeskai Wins. Did Jeskai Wins win?
Jeskai won in 2 quick games. Sean McLaren took that down. Li Shi-tian, game 2, was like, I don't think I have a great matchup. Let me try and bring in these 15 cards. Went to a plan with Savage Knuckleblades and Pelucranos, sent his combo pieces to the bench, and just ended up having a clumsy draw in the last game. And Sean McLaren, Pro Tour champion from last year, he advanced where another Pro Tour champion from last year did not, and we had the possibility of someone winning 2 Pro Tours in the same year.
So, semi-final time. Now you've got Lax, the number 2 seed, against Thiago Saporito, the number 3. And if you look on the bracket there, well, all 4 top seeds advanced to the semi-finals. Would it hold true? Lax against Saporito? Well, at least that far, yes, it would. Ari Lax wins that one.
Yeah, 2-0. Made his deck look, really good. Really made, you saw that this was someone who was confident, prepared, had a plan, and he just made quick work of the Brazilian player.
Right, so then we go to Sean McLaren against Mike Sigrist. Would the seed hold here? McLaren, Sigrist, 2-1.
This won 3 games. McLaren emerged victorious over Mike Sigrist. It was a pretty crazy match, that third game. It looked like Mike Sigrist had come back somehow from this really bad board position, but in the end, it wasn't to be, and we had a finals between Pro Tour champion Sean McLaren and first-time Pro Tour top 8 competitor Ari Lax.
Well, Ari Lax took a 2-1 lead in our final, best 3 out of 5, and so in game 4, if he could just get over the line, one more game would win it. McLaren was in dominant form in game 4. He was so far ahead, almost nothing was going to get Lax out of game 4 with a trophy. Siege Rhino came off the top. That still wasn't enough. Now it was all about McLaren's top deck in an island venue where we have seen, Mr. Historian, top deck after top deck.
Absolutely. Siege Rhino put Ari Lax just 1 point out of range of the burn in Sean McLaren's hand. Sean was able to get him to 1.
So at that point, what was on the top of the deck? McLaren played coy. He wouldn't show us, wouldn't show the camera. Only he knew. It wasn't a burn spell, and it was the end of the road, and Ari Lax became the Pro Tour champion of Khans of Tarkir. Away from the play at the top 8 tables, BDM, lots of issues waiting to be resolved for everyone at home as they go out into the wide world of Khans of Tarkir standard and draft.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't feel like the work is done on the Jeskai Ascendancy deck. I feel like that combo deck may very well be viable. The version that Li Shitian played in the top 8 had a lot of moving pieces and maybe was not as streamlined as the version we saw some of the Channel Fireball guys playing, as designed by Guillaume Matignon. And I think maybe somewhere between what those 2 versions of the deck were doing, could work a powerful force in standard for the conceivable future. Also, questions about control. Is the control deck actually viable? Blue-black control, we would get it on camera, it would win, it would win, it would win. Oh, let's put it on camera, it would lose. It would win, put it on camera, it would lose. I think it won maybe 1 match on camera all weekend. Interesting take on that. If you look through the deck list, Greg Orange, by the way, playing in just his 3rd Pro Tour, 2nd Pro Tour in a row, top 25 the last Pro Tour, finished 9th at this Pro Tour, virtual tie for the 8th spot, playing Esper control. And a number of players dismissed that as being playable in this format. We're worried about the mana. He cut down on counter spells, went up on black removal, played End Hostilities. Might be a deck you want to consider if you're looking for a control deck. I say to no one in particular.
Thank you so much. Anyone beyond me? No, it must be me. Meanwhile, one final thing to tell you about. This was our Hall of Fame weekend in more ways than one, because not only did we have the induction ceremony, but I've never seen so many Hall of Famers, old and more recent, coming to play the game that they have made their life's reputation in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the last 6 people to be inducted into the Hall of Fame are all active Pro Tour champions. So, some of the newer members coming into the class are still playing and still at the top of the game, still reaping the platinum benefits of playing Magic. But we saw a lot of old faces that we haven't seen in a while. Nikolai Herzog, we've seen Bram Stepfangers, et cetera, et cetera. It was close to 20 Hall of Famers here. We had a great banquet. You can watch the video and see the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Makihito Mahara, Paul Ritzel, and Guillaume Wafatapa were inducted this weekend. And congratulations to them on their long and impressive Magic careers.
Well, who knows whether Ari Lax one day will become a member of the Magic Hall of Fame. Right now, that's for another day. Right now, he's the man holding the trophy. Your Pro Tour Khans of Tarkir champion is Ari Lax. And until we meet again to do it all over again in the tumult that is Worlds Week, a World Magic Cup, and of course, a World Championship. For Brian David Marshall, for everyone here from the team at Wizards of the Coast, I'm your host, Rich Hagan, saying bye.